Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you a couple of skirt sets that I made using patterns from Butterick 3134 and Simplicity 8601. So if you want to hear more about it, stay with me. Hello, my name is Marcia and this is Gather and Stitch. You guys, I have 100 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I was so excited to see that I got 100 subscribers. So, you know, it's only up from here, right? Oh, I just dropped my pattern. Well, I'm back from my trip to Sicily. We had a great time. I did get some fabric shopping in, so I'll be showing you my fabric haul on my next vlog. I'm finishing getting them washed and folded and ready. I'm looking at my stack right there, and washed and folded and ready to show you. So I am excited about that. But right before I left for Italy, I made a couple of skirt sets because I love dresses. I love sewing dresses. I love wearing dresses. But I found that I really had some holes in my closet as far as separates were concerned. And pants are my nemesis. I have a really hard time fitting pants. I have perfected the Peppermint Magazine wide leg pant pattern, but I felt like I can only have, so many of those pants in my wardrobe, and I already have 2 pairs. So I need to branch out, and I'm thinking of making the Love Notions Largo cargo pants. But then I thought it's already May, the middle of May, so I'll probably just make more dresses until the fall gets a little bit closer. But anywho, I did finish some skirt sets and matching sets, and so I wanted to show you how they turned out. I used Butterick 3134, and I used View, whatever this long one it is right here, the white one. Not sure what View that is because I don't have my glasses on. And I used Simplicity 8601, and I used the pattern that ties. They all tie in the front, but anyway, I made them sleeveless. I will insert some footage while I'm showing you, but I wanted to give you kind of a close-up of what I did. Okay, so for my skirt, I used a gingham cotton voile, or voile, however you want to say it, that I got from an estate sale. I did do a burn test on it, and it is cotton, but it was sheer. So I lined it with some white cotton that I got from the Joann's going out of business sale. I just bought the whole bolt, and it said cotton voile on there, but it's a little bit thicker. It's a thicker cotton voile. I would say it's like a poplin. Let me take that back. It's probably a lawn. It is not, it has to be at least, it's thick for lawn, in my opinion. So, anyway, I did line the skirt. With the white cotton, I used a button and a zipper from my stash. And like I said, I will insert some photos of me wearing it. Let me see what alterations I made to it. And you're gonna have to excuse my appearance because I have eczema, and it is on my eyelids and on my neck, and I'm really having a hard time with it right now. So you know, super itchy, no eye makeup, nothing. So this is me in real. Anyway, I shortened the skirt by 2 inches, and basically that's all I did. I shortened the skirt by 2 inches because I'm 5'3". And but I really like how it turned out. I hemmed it. It is a curved hem, so I used some bias binding that I had. I believe this was a double fold. Yeah, a double fold bias binding that I had, and that's how I finished off the hem. I think I already said this once about pattern matching. Like, I can't, my brain, I just, when I think about pattern matching, my brain goes into overload and starts shutting down. So I just kind of thought, if I could pattern match just so that the stripes, you know, it's passable. I think it's passable anyway. Is it perfect? No. Does it line up perfectly? No, no, no. But the blue lines up with the blue, and the white lines up with the white, and I'm okay with that. And here's the side seam. Got a little checkerboard going on down the side seam. So I did try and line that up when I was sewing, because I didn't want it to be, you know, cockeyed. But as far as pattern matching, serious pattern matching, I did not do that. So here's my skirt, and here is the shirt. And like I said, the shirt is a simplicity pattern, 8601. And I know this is a favorite of Sean from Kittenish Behavior. She's made this several times. It looks super, super cute on her. I made the size 20. And I did a 1/2 inch full bust adjustment on it. I probably could have got away with not doing that, but I did it. I shortened the waist by 1 inch, and I adjusted the opening for the ties. The opening for the ties, let me just push it up here so you can see. It's split up the center on the center seam for the opening for the ties. Well, I lowered the opening by 2 inches because I didn't want you to be able to see my belly. And I just kind of, I didn't want my belly to show. So I lowered the opening to where I would tie it, would be tying it. And then, you know, I just sewed down a couple more inches. I added a piece of fabric on the back of the tie because the ties are not lined, and on one of these, on this yellow one that I made, the fabric is not two-sided, and I didn't want, you would obviously see the back of the fabric when you tied it in a knot, because the back of the tie, you know, is just the white back of the fabric. So I probably could, in fact, I could have gotten away with not lining the ties on the gingham one because it's a woven gingham. But what I did was I just cut a piece of fabric, and let me see, and sewed it on the back of the tie piece. And it's free right here. It's just free, open right here on both sides. So that when you tie it, you get a two-sided tie instead of, on the seeing the backside of the fabric when it is tied. So you cannot tell on the front when it's tied. You can't see that piece of fabric. It doesn't show through. And I think it just gives it a nice, clean, finished look. I finished the armholes with bias binding, the same bias binding I used on the hem of my skirt. I probably should have used blue thread, but I had white thread in my machine, so I just went ahead and finished it off like that. And I used a hacked label because I hacked it by not putting the sleeves on and the addition of the fabric to the ties, and so I just used that. So if I haven't already, I will insert a picture of the gingham skirt and shirt set. And let me show you the other skirt set. Now these are using the same patterns. This is some fabric that I got from Fabric Mart Fabrics. It is a suiting fabric. It is polyester fabric that I got years ago when I first started sewing again and first started garment sewing again. And I just love the print on it, and I did not pay attention to fabric content, and I just loved it, so I bought it. Well, it's polyester suiting, so it was really hard. It did not want to take a press. It did not want to press the seams flat, so I really had to work at that. But I think it turned out really great. And I used a vintage button from my stash, and a zipper from my stash, and yeah, I really love the pattern on this fabric. And I made a bias binding from the little bit of fabric that I had left over from making the shirt, and it was the Lady McElroy cotton lawn. So I wanted to use every little bit of it up. So I made bias binding, and I used that bias binding on the hem of the skirt. And I also use the bias binding on the arm side of the shirt because I did not want sleeves. So this is a Lady McElroy fabric that I got from Minerva a couple of years ago. And it's cotton lawn, and I just really like the all over kind of print on it. They're little leaves. It's yellow cotton lawn with little leaves on it. I did the same exact thing on this version of the shirt. I lowered the opening for the tie point by 2 inches, and I had some cotton poplin, some plain yellow cotton poplin that I used for the back of the ties because the back of this fabric is white and I didn't want that showing through. So that's what I did with that. And I should be, of course, inserting some fabric of me wearing it. And I tried to style it up a little bit with a straw bag. My straw bag has probably seen better days. It's gotten a little squished in my closet, but you know, I'll take it out and use it. And those wrinkles will come out of it, I think. Anyway, I did not take these to Italy with me because they would require an iron, and I'm glad I didn't, because I did take a few dresses. I took a couple shirt dresses with me and they did require an iron, and I was not able to wear those until halfway through the trip, until we were at a Verbo that actually had an iron and an ironing board. So, yeah, but I'll be wearing them now that I've vlogged about them and they're all finished. I'm gonna go and hang them in my closet. All the little, you know, finishing touches, sewing the button on and sewing the hem and clipping all the threads and all of that stuff is all done. They're ready just to be taken out of the closet and worn. So that's what I'll be doing with them now. Well, that's it for this video. I appreciate you watching, and thank you for subscribing. And I'm happy to be back. I have lots of ideas to sew with my new fabric that I got from Italy. I'm excited about them, and I can't wait to show you in the next vlog. So I hope you get some sewing in. I hope you have a great day. I hope you get outside just for a little bit and soak up some sunshine. And I will see you in the next vlog. Bye.